Look, if you're like me, you're holding on to like anything. You're trying to understand what on earth is going on here. Why is Trump doing the things that he's doing right now, saying the things that he's saying right now? Because it just doesn't make any sense. On one side, perhaps a louder minority, perhaps you have a lot of people saying, trust the plan, understand what's going to go on. Everything's going to be okay. And, I do trust President Trump, and he's been wrong about very little. But if you go over just the last 30 days, whether it was kind of the wording of and the final state of the big, beautiful bill, people didn't really love it. It was, 60-40, bombing Iran. People didn't like that. What's the other one I was thinking of? He's had and sending Ukraine, selling more weapons to Ukraine. I guess Europe is paying for those. So I guess it's a little different. It's been kind of a rough month for Trump, but he will be president for 48 months. This is 1 month. And so I want to try to talk some people off the edge. But this last True Social and this Quinnipiac poll, I think Trump loves his polls. So I'm still hopeful that he's going to see a lot of his polling numbers dropping from this. And whoever's slithering into his ear saying that this is not a big deal won't be able to deny his approval ratings and these polls. This new poll came out. 63% of voters disapprove of Trump administration's handling of the files. Quinnipiac University national poll finds nearly half of voters would consider joining a third party, just not one created by Elon Musk, which I get. People have always considered third parties, but only 17% of voters approve of the way the Trump administration is handling the files. Now, is it fair that, the Biden administration didn't have to answer these questions? The Obama administration, although, later in it, didn't have to answer these questions. In fact, the first Trump administration really didn't have to answer these questions. The thing is, this is a problem of their own making. Now, some people who are hardcore backing Trump still keep saying, well, he didn't campaign on this. And I guess that's true, but it does feel a little bit like a cope. He absolutely, in multiple interviews, told people that he was in favor of releasing the files, 100% in favor of releasing the files. So, I'm not going to buy that. He absolutely said he would. Did he know it was in the files? Well, he was president once before, so maybe he already knew. But now he's done this switcheroo where he's calling it a Democrat hoax. And a lot of people really aren't loving that. Colin Rugg saying, President Trump says people who are demanding the files be released are stupid and foolish. You said it was a hoax. Has your attorney general told you it was a hoax? Trump, no, but it's not the attorney general. It started by the Democrats. It's been run by Democrats for 4 years. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. So they try to do the Democrats' work.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney general told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen?
No, it's not the attorney general. No, I know it's a hoax. It's
Look, if it is a hoax, release the files and point to us what's a hoax in it. I think that here's what I think. I think he's still going to release these files because this stuff's going to start hurting his poll numbers. I think that a lot of people believe that this is just mostly an online thing. But the problem is all these people who are online vote. And you're having a lot of people come out and say hey, what's going on with this dude? I have faith that Trump will do the right thing. I think more often than not, Trump has decided to do the right thing. He has shown a willingness to change course, and I'm still hopeful he'll do that here.
Started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And It's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work.
But like, again, like, I'm really trying to be fair here, okay? I trust him. So if it's a hoax, then release it and say, here's the hoax. You know, I don't think, you know, by the way, he put out this, his true social was just, you know, of course, trust the plan. Trump is covering up for the list. I think that's stupid too. That's the dummy side. Trust the plan, guys, in the middle. And then down here in the high IQ, full disclosure of the files would bring down the entire system. It's a linchpin that holds the deep state together. Disclosure would point you in directions they cannot afford you to consider. This is why Trump is covering it up. Now, I don't know, you know, maybe he found out more stuff than, you know, originally. But let's not forget, this is his, like, he put this out and, like, this is crazy. Now, I don't think, you know, the Epstein files is, you know, a single issue that's going to, like, destroy his entire presidency. But it's obviously a really big deal right now. They said there's no good governing. No, they're no good at policy. They're talking about the Clintons. Their new scam is that we will forever call the Jeffrey file the Jeffrey hoax. And my past supporters who have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker, they haven't learned their lesson, and they probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 years. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in this country's history. I agree, Mr. Trump. The idea that this somehow diminishes his successes is crazy. I don't think that. I don't think your entire presidency is forfeit if you don't release these files. I think some people think that. But I think to call people like, bro, I voted for you 3 times. Like, to call me, you know, basically call me a loser and an idiot is wild. You know, all these different sound bites are coming out. Here's Matt Walsh. So the files are a dumb hoax, and yet the attorney general who deliberately peddled this dumb hoax is doing a great job, won't be fired, and we should stop criticizing her. Someone make this make sense to me. That's from Matt Walsh. Owen Schroyer, what the heck is going on with Trump? I'll share a little bit of this.
You've likely seen President Trump's latest Truth Social post, basically saying the Jeffrey Epstein story is a hoax, and those that are still talking about it are, from yesterday's comments, bad people, and now his past supporters. So this is like Hillary calling us deplorables.
Right.
This is President Trump basically signaling to his base, his original supporters that have been with him since 2015, that he's moving on.
He doesn't want it.
That's how I take it. So the people that have been fighting with him since 2015, the people that were in the streets for him, the people that were in prison for him, he's moved on from us. And so now we're his past supporters, we're hoaxers, we're bad people. And this Epstein post now is the worst yet.
Right, the latest one.
Nobody can seem to make any sense of it. The only conclusion I can land on at this time is that, again, he's just decided he's moved on from us, and he's going to work with the political establishment now. He's going to work with the neocons now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be working with the warmongers now. And he has a new base of supporters, not his original supporters, but the new MAGA that popped up in 2024 that will just support him no matter what. So that's what...
Yeah, that new MAGA is really annoying. It exists. I would just call them like the binder people, you know, the hinder binders. It's very, very, very odd.
The message reads to me, aside from just the tone-deaf nature of it with the Epstein story and not being able to read the room properly, that's how this message reads to me.
I mean, that's how it reads to me too. It's like very aggressive. You have Pam Bondi saying like, you know, listen to this.
Yes, sir. leadership of DOJ and the FBI with your relationship with Dan Bongino that is affecting the operations of the DOJ?
No, I'm not going to talk about personnel matters. No, I was with Director Patel all morning, and we are committed to keeping America safe, making America safe, working with our incredible partners at DEA, FBI, ATF, U.S. Marshals to do everything we can to make America safe, and that's what we're focused on. And today, we're focused on protecting our kids. And I would ask all of you, when you leave, go look at that wall outside.
Protecting our kids? I mean, I don't know. Like, again, he says, release it, anything credible. This was yesterday. He says, well, release it, anything credible. Well, who's the arbiter of what's credible or not? And then I thought now he's shifted to the whole thing's a dumb hoax. You know, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and many others have peddled this Jeffrey matter. And now suddenly everybody, like Kash Patel sure got right back in line, didn't he? Kash Patel got right back in line. It's my prediction is, you know, I may make a video about this tomorrow. My prediction is that Dan Bongino already quit. That's what I think. But you see, you know, Trump doubles down on the cover-up after saying he supported a new DOJ investigation earlier today. Why is 47 making the worst moves of his tenure in the last 9 years? This is beyond effed up. You know, here, Alex responds to Trump's excommunicating.
If you talk about this, I'm going to excommunicate you. Well, you're not the Pope, bro. I mean, you're not speaking from the throne ex cathedra. And plus, I'm not Catholic. So, I think of Catholics, it's just, give me a break. Anyone who disagrees with anything I say is banished. And I'm not saying Trump land is a cult.
There are cult aspects to it.
The Democrats are the cult of hating reason and lies.
I mean, here he is here too.
All right, on the tarmac with Lutnick, Trump's chief economic advisor, he just saw Trump double down like he did last week and say nobody's still looking into Epstein. Why would anybody want to know about that? I don't know, Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and Steve Jobs' wife and all these other world leaders going to this island where there's underage kids and all the Mossad connections and the Israeli prime minister secretly getting caught over and over again going to his New York lair and Zorro Ranch and all the rest of it. Why would anybody want to know about that? You made it a major campaign issue, and your surrogates did to bring all this out.
Right. It wasn't like Trump did not run on this, but he was asked multiple times and said he would release it. He was also president for 4 years before all of this, so certainly he knew at least something about it. I just don't know what's going on. I'm hopeful that Trump will still do the right thing and release it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.